You gotta love 80s album covers. Some were dramatic, some simple but memorable, and some just plain weird. Of course, everyone has their own favorites, but here's our picks for the 5 most iconic covers from the 1980s.
5.
Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses. That striking skull and cross design. It was the perfect introduction to GNR's revolutionary new sound. The original cover art was actually a much darker illustration, a painting by underground cartoonist Robert Williams, which showed a robot violating a woman in graphic detail. According to the band, it was a symbolic social statement with the robot representing the industrial system that's raping and polluting our environment. When a number of stores refused to stock the album, Geffen Records pulled the controversial art inside the album and replaced the cover with the now famous iconography, a Celtic cross with 5 skulls, each reflecting a member of the band. It was an idea first conceived by frontman Axl Rose, designed by artist Billy White Jr.
4.
Purple Rain, Prince and the Revolution. A motorcycle on a rain-soaked street, billows of smoke or steam, that ornate purple suit, the intense gaze. It's pure theater and classic Prince. The Purple Rain album was designed by Laura LaPuma Nash, photographed by Ed Thrasher and Stuart Douglas, and shot at a backlot at Warner Brothers Studios. It was an exterior set known as Hennessy Street, designed to look like a New York apartment complex. The mysterious woman standing in the doorway? That's Apollonia Quintero, the female lead in the Purple Rain film. Oh, and one more nugget for music fans. The Purple Rain cover shares something in common with album cover geniuses Pink Floyd. Floyd shot the cover for their legendary Wish You Were Here album on the same Warner Brothers backlot, making it arguably the most important studio setting in album cover history.
3.
Bad, Michael Jackson. You might wonder why we didn't instead go with Michael Jackson's Thriller album here. It's obviously iconic too, with Jackson lounging in his sleek white suit, often imitated, never equaled. But there's just something about that Bad cover that left a stronger impression. Jackson was never the toughest guy on the block, but his eye-catching 80s cover made us believe that he was. Photographer Sam Emerson was personally chosen by Jackson to capture the cover image. Their initial approach was inspired by a famous portrait of actress Gloria Swanson. And though the result was obviously evocative, it wasn't nearly as tough as intended. CBS Records CEO suggested a more urban approach. So Emerson pivoted to this picture with Jackson wearing the wardrobe from his Bad music video. A music video, by the way, directed by the master of tough urban crime films, Martin Scorsese.
2.
The Joshua Tree, U2. The working titles for the album were originally The Desert Songs and The Two Americas, and the band wanted a cover that would reflect those ideas, where the desert met civilization. From the start, they knew they wanted to shoot it in America, so over several days in December of '86, U2 traveled with their photographer Anton Corbijn and designer Steve Averill on a bus around the Mojave Desert, shooting images throughout the desert landscape from Reno to Zabriskie Point to Death Valley Junction. Corbijn later recounted that the main idea of the shoot was to juxtapose man and environment, the Irish and America. Despite being in the desert, they had to fight through cold weather, which somewhat explains the somber picture. As Bono said, it was freezing and we had to take off our coats so it would at least look like a desert. That's one of the reasons we look so grim. The effect, though, is evocative, epic, cinematic. Now, before we get to our top choice for the 80s most iconic albums, I have to say there were just too many classics to choose from, and I know we're leaving out some great ones. Rio by Duran Duran, Madonna's Like a Virgin, New Order, Power, Corruption and Lies, and of course, the Beastie Boys' License to Ill. You can tell us all about what we left out in the comments, what we got wrong, what we got right, but our pick for the most iconic album cover of the 80s has got to go to
1.
The Boss, number 1, Born in the USA, Bruce Springsteen. Yes, our top is Bruce Springsteen's bottom. The whole composition, the red cap, the American flag, it's so enduring, we just had to put it first. The photo is by the legendary Annie Leibovitz, known for capturing some of the most iconic celebrity portraits. And the image, like the song itself, has often been misunderstood. Because it's shot from behind, people have sometimes speculated that Springsteen is urinating on the US flag. But in 1994, Bruce set the record straight, saying, no, we took a lot of different types of pictures, and in the end, the picture of my ass looked better than the picture of my face, so that's what went on the cover. That's all. I didn't have any secret message. So that's our list. What's yours? Favorites, least favorites? Let us know. And for more great content celebrating the craft of music, subscribe to our channel and sign up for our newsletter at the link in the description below. I'm Taryn Papa, and this is Inside Track.